Akuna Matata. What's going on, everybody? Let's break down the 5 benefits of Kleronomics, or soul vibrational power. We want to reveal, explain, illuminate, and simplify the benefits of Kleronomics, which is the household management of the soul. Now, in order to manage the soul, it's very interesting because when we look at the benefits of soul or cellular management, soul cell, this allows you to be able to operate in what we call insight. So this is really kind of like part 3 to insight versus information. Insight is more important than information. Everybody's sharing information. That is awesome. But now we need to go deeper, especially in 2023, because now the dominant culture is reducing the amount of discretionary income. So that means the people who are able to put their frequency into assets are the people that will be successful. Your soul is your number 1 asset. Let me say it again. Contrary to popular belief, you can put your money into stocks and bonds and silver and gold. Your money is really your frequency, your wave, your verb, and your vibration. But the people that will be successful moving forward are the people that over, and understand that your soul, which is made up of the mind, the will, the emotion, the imagination, and the intelligence, is your best investment. And your soul is not only your best investment, your soul is your greatest asset. So that means that we must start to look at the soul, because your soul is your best investment and your soul is your greatest asset. And it's the people moving forward who have the most assets. When if the dollar changes to the cryptocurrency or whatever the medium of exchange is, if you have assets, though that medium of exchange will be used to purchase it. Instead of putting our emphasis on of exchange, let's put our emphasis on the assets. So the whole point of the Life Management University investment and Millionaires Club is to be able to accumulate assets. The number 1 asset then is the soul. So let's start with the accumulation of the soul. So the 5 benefits of cellular and soul management is: number 1, emotional control. Number 2, self-discipline. Number 3, self-defense. Number 4, self-motivation. Number 5, self-attention. I call that attention to detail. So let's break down these keys, which are the benefits of what we're going to do moving forward. And I am going to move the start of the next series. I guess we'll wait till the new year to give everybody a chance to assimilate and process everything that we've already been doing. Also give me a chance to catch up and get everything done that I did in 22. I will be doing an end of the year sale. In addition to the Dick and Hit reports, which are on sale for $149 instead of $499, I will be doing a year in review. Well, everything that we did in 2022, I didn't realize I was counting and adding up the number of shows and stuff that I did in 22. And I can't put that into a download. So I guess I have to put it onto a USB port because there's so much information. If you look at all of the 7 to 30 day shows that we did in 2022, probably put it all together, set it for $1,000, give everybody a discount for $700 to $800. Again, that's just for people who like to accumulate the information and have that stuff in case it gets deleted and blah, blah, blah. But as we get closer to the end of the year, I'll break that down even more. But just for right now, I'm just going to drop that seed and that nugget in your lap for the people who are interested in getting everything that I've done in 2022. Not only the free content, but also the pay-per-view content, so that way you'll have it on a USB drive. So this was something that would have to be mailed, because all of these shows and all this information is beneficial to the soul. Now, to define the soul, again, we all know the soul is your soul, not mine. So your soul is your best investment, and your soul is your greatest asset. The number 1 key to the soul is, or the number 1 benefit to the soul is emotional management or emotional control. Because if your soul is your best investment, the most important thing to you is the ability to be you. The only person, place, or thing that can limit you and stop you is you. So you got to manage you. And you are nothing but your emotions. If the soul is made up of the mind, will, emotion, imagination, and intellect. Notice the emotions is in the middle. So the first two is the spirit, the last two is the body, the middle one is really the soul. So as your emotions go, so does your soul go. So it's insight into soul. So the number one key, the number one benefit of everything that we're going to be doing and talking about in Kleronomics is the household management of the soul. And that is the household management of your emotional state. So when you're able to manage that, then that is your first estate. And so remember, the angels fell because they lost their first estate. So your first estate, according to Jude 6, when we look at it from a Biblios perspective, it is your emotion. So when somebody is not doing well, I know they're not doing emotionally, they're not emotionally stable. That means I can gaslight you, I can love bomb you, I can, threaten you, I can use any of the different psychological techniques to limit you because you will be triggered. So the number one benefit of Kleronomics is to learn how, which is this is what we're going to be learning. So we're just talking about the benefits of it, which is emotional control, emotional balance. And the people that are born in the state of, which is October, that means that you're born with that specific language that allows you to form a new activation, vibrational or activation code. That's all we're talking about. We're talking about activating the dormant code in your DNA. These light codes are lying dormant inside of you, so we want to activate them by managing the mind, will, emotion, imagination, and intellect. That is done by a single service. So your true gift to the planet is your service. That's called your destiny or your diaconia, which is why I do destiny and diaconia reports, because that's your true predestination. So when we're talking about emotional balance, and we're talking about emotional control, and we understand that emotional control is the ability to identify and regulate your response. Let me say it again. Emotional control is the ability to identify and regulate your response. Let me say it again. It's this spontaneous reaction. That's what gets everybody in trouble. So the ability to exert control over one's own reactionary state is I almost want to say the most important, but if it's not the most important, it's right up there with the most important frequencies, waves, and vibrations to be successful. The ability to regulate one's own emotional response, aka trigger. Because again, out of everything on this planet, you are here to learn this skill set. The hardest skill set on planet Earth. Very few people have mastered. Only the masters have emotional control. Because emotional control is the ability to identify and regulate your emotions and your response. So a lot of people can regulate. When I say regulate, that's what it means to be aware. But emotional control is the ability to identify and regulate your response. So the trigger, we're not worried about that. See, most people try to control events instead of trying to control response. See, you are responsible for how you respond. And that is your response to a trigger. The masters, we all have mastered our ability to respond. We've mastered our respond ability. Amateurs have not mastered respond ability. There's very few people who have mastered respond ability or responsibility. So the number one out of everything that we can talk about, nothing matters more than respond ability. That is the number one benefit of everything that I talk and think and do, because that's insight. Insight, the ability to replace error with truth. The ability to find and fulfill your God-given purpose and destiny. Because where purpose is not known, the inability to respond is inevitable. That means you can go the fuck off every time somebody pisses you off. Instead of going within and asking yourself, so, let me get this right. So Tom, Dick, and Harry are doing A, B, C, and D. Events. I can't control the events. I can't control you. But I can put myself in a self-regulation state where I'm able to rethink any challenging event. And I can reduce the level of anger and anxiety. I got that power. No reverend, no doctor or bishop has that power. I'm the only one that has the power to regulate my ability over my own anger and my own anxiety. Nobody else can do that. Nobody can do that for me. I got to do that for myself. But we got to learn how to do that. We're going to be better at it because they're going to start releasing more triggers. So there's going to be more events. They're going to say, oh, look at the food prices, man. They're going to say, oh, we run out of gas. Or there's a power outage. All of these are events that are designed to trigger. You can't control the events that the dominant culture got planned for you. But you can control your respond ability. That's your job, boo-boo. No Tom, no Dick, no Harry. That's your job. So the God kind, the God class, we have emotional control. And emotional control is the ability to identify and regulate your response. So I need to identify my options. I can regulate the options that I choose to express. If I go off, it ain't by accident. I thought about it, and I said, yep, this person deserves a very heated response because this ain't their first rodeo. So they know what they're doing. And if they don't, shit, they should. So I need to make sure that they get fucking educated so that they know I'm not the one. But I'm not going to go off on every Tom, Dick, and Harry because I have emotional control. Your job is to get through the mental state. Your job to establish the mental ability. What you are able to and understand that I'm able to regulate my ability. I regulate my ability to exert any type of expression, whatever that expression is. And I choose not to reveal. I choose to hide, if you want to use that term, certain expressions. Why? Because I have the ability to effectively control my emotional state. So some people are better at regulating their emotions than others. So this is a sign of Kleronomics because that's a sign of emotional intelligence. So number one is emotional intelligence, which is the ability to, again, regulate the self. That means that you are aware of all of the external demonstration, but you choose to reveal only internal revelation. That means that you choose. It's a choice. You want to go off. You are justified in going off. Everybody that's watching you is waiting for you to go off, and you choose not to go off. That means that you are the master of disaster. You are able to exercise total mastery. You are the executive. You have this ability to be able to connect to different types of reactions. You totally can exercise emotional judgment, whether it's anger, disgust, fear, sadness, joy, all in your repertoire. And people are dumbfounded. Like the Bible says, when you have the ability to respond in love when you should respond in hate, it's like reaping coals of fire up on people's heads. And so the number one benefit of Kleronomics, of everything that we're talking about, out of everything that we do, the number one benefit is the emotional stability, emotional management. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have emotions and you don't go off on people, but it's managed. You get to choose. You establish your own emotional state. Nobody can pull you into an argument, or nobody can keep you out if you want to express yourself. You walk into a room where everybody got 3 PhDs, and you got a high school graduate, high school diploma, and you don't even got that, you got a fucking GED. You still have emotional management. You have the ability to exercise and show that you have emotional intelligence. It's a level of intellect that very few people exude. It's the rarest thing. This shit is more rare than an albino tiger in the wild. Just look around, especially on social media, and see how many people exude emotional intelligence. That's number one. Number two is what I call self-discipline. Similar to emotional control, I love self-discipline because it's an executive function. Only executives have self-discipline. It's like self-love and self-control. But self-discipline is like number three, which is self-defense. But self-discipline is something that transports you to a whole level. Everybody that's successful has self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to regulate not only your emotions, your thoughts, but also your behavior. Self-discipline is impulse control. Unlike emotional control, because the emotions precedes, or the emotions are after the thought, but it's before the impulse. So when you get an emotion, you have to get a certain amount of it before you choose to exercise, before you choose to take action. Self-discipline is the ability to control yourself, the ability to make yourself behave in a particular way without needing anyone else to tell you, hey, bruh, don't do that. Hey, sis, don't do that. You see, self-discipline, wow, it's the result of Kleronomics. The only way to have self-discipline is if you have management of the soul. If you know exactly where you weak at, what are the areas that you struggle in, and you know how to put yourself, like I said in every show, and in most things, like I see you guys, Dr. Stan was talking about the notes that she took. The number one takeaway from talking about everything that we're talking about over the last 3 to 4 days when we talk about insight versus income, the number one insight, do not put yourself in an environment or in a position where you cannot succeed. It's like if you have difficulty having a conversation with somebody, why would you marry somebody? Why would you marry that person if you have a difficulty communicating with that person? Because remember, you're going to spend your entire life with this person. And if every time you talk, it turns into an argument and debate, why would you choose to do business with that person? Why would you choose to hang out with that person? It's not hard. Most people find a reason not to buy. If I'm talking to somebody, they're just looking for a reason not to buy my product, I give it to them. Because that's what they're looking for. So I don't want somebody to buy my product, my service, and my information if they really don't want to buy it. I've been doing the Deal Community Report on sale. Deal Community Report for $149 is stupid cheap. And if I got to talk you into it at $149, it sells for $499. It should be more than that because it's 750 pages of information about you. If I got to talk somebody into seeing the value, this just happened today. That's why I'm talking about it. Because somebody wanted me to give them more information about the value of the Deal Community Report. So I just send them the link to the website. I said, yeah, go check out. What they were expecting was me to stop what I was doing and go and explain the benefits of the Deal Community Report. If I got to explain the benefits, then obviously you don't need it. You ain't ready for it because it's self-evident. It's 750. That's enough information. The fact that it's 750 pages, that explains it just by itself. Because it's 750 pages and it's 45 chapters. So if you got to go in depth when there's at least 30 different videos on the internet that explains it in detail, but you want me to explain it just for you in detail after I've sent you the information that explains it, but you chose not to view the information. This is why I don't repeat myself to people when I've already said something. I'm not going to repeat it again because I know I said it. But that's the indication of somebody that really don't want to buy it. So they're trying to get you to talk them into buying. Now, I could do that. I used to do that when I was thirsty and desperate. But I'm not thirsty, not desperate. I don't have to do that anymore. I don't recommend you guys do it at all. Because remember, every negative experience I've had with a client, I knew the day I saw their picture. At the last client that really, really went bad, if I said the person's name, you guys all know her. If I saw her on the road, on the side of the road in the pouring down rain, 2 o'clock at night, I wouldn't run her over, but I damn sure wouldn't give her a ride. And for me to say that, it happened pretty bad. But I love everybody. But the point is, self-discipline means you don't even do the shit that I've been doing. That shows a lack of self-discipline on my behalf, which shows a lack of self-love. The fact that you're willing to put yourself in harm's way, knowingly, to put yourself in a place where you face temptations and impulses to do crazy shit, why would you do that? You see, self-discipline is not about other people. One of the hardest things to do is to exercise at home alone. Why do I exercise? I love going to the gym. If I go to the gym, I get twice the results, twice as fast. I can't even explain to you in the English language what going to the gym and being around 20, 30 other people that's exercising. Because the energy, the atmosphere, everybody, you comparing your body to everybody else's body. You see Jim Bob over there, he old as dirt, and he look good, and then you look at you, then you like, shit, I ain't got no fucking excuse. So you get your ass on that treadmill, and you say, so you go, you really was just going to stay at the gym for 30 minutes? Shit, you there for 45. Every time I go to the gym, I stay longer, and I work out harder because of the environment. And then I learned, what if there is no gym? See, exercising at home requires a tremendous amount of self-discipline. It's almost impossible. That's why most people don't do it. You know the people I know, I go into people's garages, and I see, and I'm like, damn, I got a lot of shit in my garage, a lot of exercise equipment. Then I look at people I ride by my neighborhood, and I see people at the garage door open, and I never see them exercising. They got way more shit than me. A lot of people got the stuff, the equipment, but they don't use it. It's one thing to have the physical equipment. It's a whole other thing to use it. Very few people have self-discipline. In fact, I can probably count on one hand the number of folk that got it. See, exercising at home is one example that requires a tremendous amount of self-discipline. It's a lot easier to exercise in the group. This is why I spend so much time alone, because I'm challenging myself. I like people. I love hanging out with groups. I love to go party, but I realize that is fake. And so I had to ask myself, number one, as we just alluded to, is emotional intelligence. Number two, self-discipline. Number three, self-defense. Now, I like self-defense because I always thought self-defense was kind of like the art of war. And, you know, I was listening to this interview by Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson was talking about that he studied, you know, all the greats, the warriors, like Genghis Khan, Napoleon, was Napoleon, not Napoleon Hill, whatever the hell his name was, the little short dude. But then he talked about Achilles. Because Achilles is the god of war, according to, you know, Greek mythology. And Tyson said that he studied all of these dudes. And they were, man, they were lions. But the dark side of that, and he was crying as he was talking. There's TikTok videos out there. He was talking to Sugar Ray Leonard. And he was saying how in order for him to live in this world and to be a father, to be a husband, he had to bury, kill, and remove that part of his nature. And it's interesting because I'm listening to Mike Tyson. And he was explaining the thing that made him a great fighter, but it did not make him a good husband or a good father. So what Tyson was explaining was the over understanding of emotional control, self-discipline, and then self-defense. You see, self-discipline is this ability to alone, sitting at home alone, with nobody to motivate you, to inspire you, to call you, to amp you up. You get the fuck up off the sofa and you take action. Well, that's self-discipline. But self-defense is this ability to not only physically, like in the case that Mike Tyson was talking about, to physically be able to protect yourself in the event that you are attacked by someone physically. But I'm talking about mental self-defense. You see, you could study martial arts and boxing and, like I did, Hapkido, Krav Maga, and all of these other types of self-defense. But I'm more talking about mental, or what is also known as psychic self-defense. It's amazing to me that when I talk to people, when I ask them about their inability to exercise emotional control, usually it's because they are suffering from some type of psychic attack. And you know that the average snooker that I bump into, they don't know shit about spiritual warfare. So Discipline is psychic self-discipline, spiritual self-discipline, the ability to protect oneself from a psychic attack. Do you know that the average noob can't even identify when they are under a psychic attack? So how do you prevent and stop psychic attacks from happening to you? The average Negro has no idea how to cut the emotional connections between themselves and other people who don't support them. This is why when I talk to people like Dr. Span all the time, I try to be expressing to them the importance of understanding Kleronomics, which is the household management of the soul. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It has to do with yourself. So when I talk to most people, especially black folks, the average Negro don't know shit about protecting him or herself from spiritual and psychic attacks. The reason that I got fucked is because I didn't understand it. So when Jim Bob told me when I was young, dumb, and stupid, hey, Jesus wants you to stay here in San Antonio and take the city for Jesus. So I said, okay. And I got out the military with a wife and 5 kids. You know what the fuck I was doing. Didn't have no fucking plan. And I crashed and fucking burned. Do not pardon my fucking French. How come? Well, as you can see, I'm a little animated. Because nobody understands insight. Or very few. Information is free, boo-boo. Insight is not. The average Negro is religious as fuck, but don't know shit about spiritual warfare. And the inability to understand rituals, which are nothing but runes, which is nothing but a amulet, which is nothing but amplifiers, which means that somebody is gaslighting you right now. It's probably your wife or your husband or your supervisor on your job, and you have no idea that he's punking you or she's punking you. So when I talk about self-defense and spiritual defense, sure, we could talk about the physical aspects of it. You can take Aikido, like I did. You can take Judo. You can take some boxing. But that ain't going to help you, bro, when it comes to spiritual attacks. And I'm not talking about burning no sage and smoking no chicken blood either. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying that you should have a mental disposition where your psychic self-defense strategy is 100% self-confidence. That comes from the 7 C's that I've been teaching for now 20 years. And it all starts with the number one thing that almost everybody I come in contact with do not have, and that is self-love. It's almost impossible to love yourself. It's almost impossible for you to strip down buck naked and stand in front of a fucking mirror and look at yourself and love every inch of your body from the top of your head to the crown of your feet. That's something that you want to improve. That's how I know you don't like yourself. Like me, you think something's wrong with you. Like me, you're afraid. So until you get to the place where you have a totally self-concept of yourself, that's the vibrational equivalent of God, you're in trouble. Somebody's going to gaslight you. Somebody's going to trigger you. Do you know that you're one decision away from prison? Do you know that? Do you know right now you could get in your car and get into a road rage incident and use your car as a weapon and commit vehicular homicide and your ass to be in fucking prison? You are one decision away from prison. I don't know if y'all understand that. Why? No self-control. No self-discipline. No self-defense. No emotional control. How come? Well, nobody walks around and thinks about, why am I such a short trigger? When I was in my 20s, man, I had Napoleon disease. I had the short man disease. I was fucking pissed off at everybody. I took all comers. I didn't care. I was like, the only thing that happened to me, I'll get my ass whooped. Guess what? Look, I'm going to come back tomorrow with a baseball bat. I had already figured it out. You whoop my ass today, I'll be back tomorrow. If you whoop my ass tomorrow, I'll be back the next day after that. The next day after that, I'm going to hide in the bushes and kiss your ass walking with your girl. When you least expect it, when you go to the movies and you sit up in there with your girlfriend all booed up, I'm going to be the nigga sitting in the back. So I never played fair. I learned quick. I was a little dude. So these big dudes, they thought they were smarter than me. They talked mad trash at school. I know what I caught. I caught them at home. I was waiting. Sometimes it'd be weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I didn't care. I wasn't in no rush. See, winners are not people who never fail. Shit, I fail all the time. Winners are people who never quit. So the only way I quit, brother, when they bury my black ass in a pine box or sprinkle my ashes over the fucking ocean. You can knock me out today, bro, but you guarantee my black ass is coming back tomorrow. See, that's the disposition of the lion. The lion is the king of the jungle, not because he's the biggest and the baddest. The lion is the king of the jungle because he's gonna fight your ass until he dies. So you got to put a bullet in the head of the lion. So that's spiritual defense. Spiritual defense is the understanding of how the universe really works. We live in a world that is simple. The universe responds to a made-up mind. There's all of these techniques out here. Everybody got all of these amulets and these amplifiers and these fucking crutches and all of these Wim Hof breathing techniques. All this shit in the mind is great. Let's not get it twisted. I like techniques too. However, at the end of the day, bruh, you gotta have number 4. Number 4 is you gotta have something called self-motivation. Now, it's awesome if your mama's coddling you and holding your hand and say, let's go, boo-boo. That's awesome. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. But for Negroes like me that didn't have no mama, at least after 13, never had a daddy, been on my own since 13, I had to figure it the fuck out. The greatest gift God gave me was a fucked up life. So I see all these mama boys now. The average Negro under 30 is soft as a fucking marshmallow. Now, ain't nothing wrong with it. It is what it is, man. I would love to be coddled too. But that wasn't my lot, Sister Diane. So I'm not going to sit around and cry over spilled milk. If I want something done, guess what I'm going to do, Sister Diane? Figure it the fuck out. Now, I would love to have a mama that I could call and say, hey, mama, I'm having a bad day. And, you know, your mama always loved you. When I was in the prison, Supermax, it was crazy. Visitation day. Jim Bob is in prison for killing 30 people. And his mama shows up every visitation day. The love for a mother, for her child, I don't get it. Now, I'm a father. I got kids. I love my kids, but I don't got that. I mean, I like it. I like watching it. I don't understand it. But if Jim Bob is wrong, he's wrong. That doesn't mean he ain't my son or he ain't my daughter. But right is right and wrong is wrong. I still love you, but hey, you got to pay for what you did, or you got to pay for what you didn't do. See, let's go back to the top. Number 1, emotional balance and emotional control. How many people do you know that have emotional balance and emotional control? How many people do you know that are emotionally stable? Now, I'm not talking about, please don't take it and call me, well, you know, doc, I went to the doctor and the doctor says, man, yeah, doctor told me that shit too. That's a fucking excuse. I like excuses, don't get me wrong. It's a get out of jail free card. The prison is full of Negroes with a bunch of excuses because their mama and nobody held him accountable until he ran up on somebody or he got busted or he got caught. So I understand the game. You're not talking to somebody that this is their first rodeo. So emotional control, that's the result of Kleronomics. That's the result of, remember, I had to learn all this stuff because I didn't have it. I didn't have no emotional control. I would fly out. If you kiss me, that's why y'all think I had 16 jobs, man. I mean, I'm asking for a friend. Like, for real. I had 68 jobs. I had 23 failed businesses. I cheated on my first wife so many times, I fucking lost count. I literally don't know how many times. They don't make them more stupider than me. So I just got sick and tired. So in January the 1st of 2009, when I was ready to, pull the plug, I just said, Big G, if you out there, if there is a God, obviously, I don't know you. Because I've been saved all my life, supposed to going to church, Holy Ghost filled, sanctified, water baptized, speaking in tongues. I did it all. When I was my most depressed, that's when I was licensed and ordained in preaching. How the fuck you depressed and you're a preacher? Do y'all know how many preachers I got in my DM right now? Do y'all know how many water baptized, Holy Ghost filled, sanctified Negroes that calling me for advice, trying to figure this the fuck out? Bro, I thought you got Jesus, bro. Self-motivation. Everybody needs somebody. Nah. You already got everybody you need. You have been given everything that you need for life and godliness. The fact that you literally think that there's something or someone outside of yourself that can provide you with the necessary theos. We call that shit enthusiasm. See, every day I wake up that I'm above ground, y'all have no idea. I already won. I never have to get motivated. Because see, my daughter Shamora is not here. Remember, she died at 19. But that was like, I told my kids, like I've already been through this. I've already lost 3 brothers. Even though they were step brothers, we had the same mama. I had already lost my mama at 13. Well, actually 12. Now, I don't know if y'all understand. Now, you can lose your daddy. But if you got a fucked up mama, or if you lose your mama, everybody that I've met that's really fucked up, their mamas are fucked up. I've met people who can overcome having like me. My kids, I wasn't a sharp student and shit. But thankfully, their mama was pretty stable. So they came out pretty good. But if your mama and your daddy, or your daddy is pretty stable, but your mama is not vibrationally sound, man, those are the people I see in prison. Or, in Vegas on the Strip. It's difficult to overcome. Can you overcome it? Absolutely. But see, self-motivation is this internal drive. It is enthusiasm. It is enthusiasm. Notice it's in. Theo means God. So the word enthusiasm means entheos. That means God within. It means that you are able to have this internal clock that doesn't need. Now, if you got it, that's awesome. But self-motivation is this, can I use the word force, for lack of a better term? It's crazy because I like to ask people all the time, what motivates you? Have you asked yourself that, like, for real? Like, you guys are here tonight, or today, and you called on, you called in. Now, you could be watching Love and Hip Hop right now. But you chose to call in and, listen to me rant and rave for an hour. How come? You see, everybody's motivated by different stimuli. Excuse me. Your job is to develop these 5 keys that we're talking about today. The way that I developed them was Kleros. Kleros. Why I get the word Kleronomics, which is the entire life management system is based upon my 60 years of being on this planet and realizing that the successful people and the non-successful people, all the successful people that I've been around, that they have, and I talk about all the time, 3 blaring characteristics that are broken down in further detail. I've never met a successful person that, number one, they don't have a routine, a self-discipline, defense, self-motivation. Number 5, self-attention. I've never met a successful person that is not obsessed with themselves, which is total opposite of everything I was taught in religion. Now, at least religion tells you it's talking about the flesh. When they say self, it's talking about, lust. It's talking about self-defeating behavior. So the Bible says that the spirit wars against the flesh wars against the spirit. The two are contrary to one another. So the Bible does have the correct verbiage, but it's not explained in a deeper vernacular, so that way everybody can understand that what do you mean by flesh? Because the Bible just talks about like illegal shit. Everything I'm talking about is not illegal. Just like we don't get stoned for adultery here in America. Now we was in the Middle East. I think some country over there said, yeah, it's illegal. But in America, it's not illegal. And so these 5 keys that we're talking about, they're not illegal. And so it's unfortunate because these 5 things, in order for you to be successful, this is the benefits of enrolling in a life management system and understanding what? How to manage the soul. What is the soul? The soul is your mind, will, emotion, imagination, intellect. Your soul is more important than your spirit. Now, your spirit is important, your body is important, but your soul is the medium of exchange between the spirit and the body. Therefore, if the soul is fucked up, the body's fucked up. If the soul is fucked up, the spirit is fucked up. Because the soul is money. The soul is like money. Money is the medium of exchange. So if you got money, you can exchange it for a medium. And so if I want to buy a car, I got to have money to give the dealer in exchange for a car. So you got to have a soul to give the body in exchange for function. You got to have a soul to give the spirit in exchange for connection with the body. So the spirit cannot talk to the body, and the body cannot do what the spirit says because there is no soul. That's why everything on earth is about the soul. When you go to Hollywood, they want to do what? Satan wants to do what? According to all the religions, I've never heard the Bible say that Satan wants to possess. I've never seen a movie where Satan wants to possess your spirit. It's all your soul. So you got to sell your soul. When you go to Hollywood, what they say? You got to sell your soul. They don't say you got to sell your body. They don't say you got to sell your spirit. They say you got to sell your soul. But nobody's teaching soul power, soul training, like back in the day. So all the shit that we're learning is so as to keep you disconnected from the soul. So they use spirituality to suppress the soul. They also use biology to suppress the soul. So I'm going to get you to focus on your titties and your ass so I can suppress your soul. Or I'm going to get you to focus on your religion and Wim Hof breathing technique so that way you can suppress your soul. So as long as you do not pay attention to what I pay attention to, which is the soul, you fuck. Because the soul is the household management of the soul. Nothing is more important than your soul. Because the soul is the recording device for all of the experiences that you have inside of the body that's carried out by the spirit. So your spirit is the instruction. But the soul is the modality of the operating system that carries out the instructions. So the spirit is like the program writer. The soul is like the operating system that the computer programmer wrote. But the body is the hardware, the computer that carries out the instructions that was written by the programmer. So you could have a great programmer, but if you got a fucked up operating system, the computer cannot carry out the instructions. That's the average nickel. Because I know a lot of very high vibrational Negroes that's fucking intelligent, but they can't get their ass up off the fucking sofa. Why? Their soul is fucked up. Now, it's not their fault these Negroes went to fucking heaven, he's a Baptist. And so you cannot operate because you don't have an operating system. The soul is the operating system. The soul is the software. The body is the hardware. The spirit is the program. So you need all three, bruh. I'm sitting here using my computer. It's a great computer. It has it's a Microsoft something. I forgot the name of it. The Edge, I think they call it. It's the latest computer that they came out with. It's a great computer. But inside of my computer, it has a operating system. Windows. But Bill Gates supposedly wrote, at least Microsoft wrote the computer. So you are all three. So if you put emphasis on one of these parts without putting emphasis on all three, then you are dysfunctional. So your job is to, first of all, you got to learn how to write the program. We can't even talk about the soul unless you've been a part of the group. Because now you over and because you took my class on the secret society of the language of light, the circle of light, the round table of light. You understand that these are cosmic light codes that are life optimization. That's why I gave you a life optimization, so you can optimize your life. You can use and replace the light codes with the death codes. You can change and you can rewrite the script because you understand that the structure of your letters. Speaking is spelling. Spelling is saying. Saying is a seance. Seance is science. Science is selling. Selling is scripturing or scripture. Some people call it scouring. If you go back to the ancient text with John D. So now you know to cast a spell, one must spell. Spelling is spelling. So life and death is in the power of your tongue. You bring about what you think about. So the way that you program is just like watching that TV program, television, to transport a vision that becomes a new program. That's why you watch TV. There is an idiot box in every room, pretty much in everybody's house. Because that idiot box is programming little Johnny and little Susie. That's one thing that at least being poor, the benefit of being poor, there's not too many benefits, but one of the greatest benefits of poverty is kids don't have access to technology. My kids did not come from an affluent background. I think about my bonus kids, Denia and Alec, and I feel my heart goes out to them. I kind of feel kind of sorry for them a little because I know that they're going out into the world in a huge disadvantage because they don't have these 5 attributes and characteristics. Remember, most adults don't have them, but these younger kids, shit. And I think about my grandkids, and I'm like, damn. The dark side of being affluent means that parents are helicopter parents. They fly over. I tell Delia, my wife, all the time, man, stop coddling these kids. She can't help it. Like I tell you guys, I worked at Supermax prison in Mexico. And on visitation day, the fucking visitation room, I was a visitation officer. I had to strip search. I don't know how many women we put in fucking jail for trying to smuggle in drugs to their sons. Mothers love their children. They do anything for their children, including protecting little Johnny and little Susie from life. I ain't mad at them. As a father, I want to protect my children too. However, at the same time, you have to allow your children to experience life. That's how we learn. We learn through going experiences. So when you shelter your children from experiencing life, you fucking your children. But you see, we don't really look at it that way. We don't understand that it takes 5 things to be successful in life. Now that I've been on both sides, man. I've been homeless I don't know how many times. Y'all know my story. And I'm sitting here now and I think about how I got here. And it's so crazy because money is just the Deion Sanders effect. That's my new term, Deion Sanders. Because everybody can relate to Deion Sanders now. But I remember Deion when he was prime time, when he drove up in a limousine, ran to 40, and then got back in his limousine. So that's the Deion Sanders I remember. But very few people remember or know why Deion Sanders is so powerful. Because Deion Sanders and every successful person that I've met, they have 5 attributes and characteristics. These are them. And the people who are not successful, they don't have these 5. I don't know no successful person that don't have emotional control. 0. I know no successful person that does not, they don't have the, if you do not have the ability to use strategy, somebody fucks you, it's like football. You don't go off on that play and run over. The ref always sees the guy who retaliates. He never sees the guy who throws the first punch. When I play football, if you cheat shot at me, I just got up and said, it's a good play, bro. Good play. I just went back to the huddle. 3 or 4 plays later, though, I catch your ass running down the field with your head up in the clouds, and I try to send you to see Jesus. That's how I played. I tried to end your career, bro. No, I didn't argue and go cry to the ref, do all this shit that these mama boys do, all these fucking marshmallow kids now. I didn't do that shit. Fuck that. I figured it the fuck out. So you gotta have emotional control. I don't care what happens in your life, man. You better watch up. This shit is really gonna hit the fan. When I say hit the fan, it just means one thing. The dominant culture is tightening the screws so that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So guess what side I'm on? Now you can argue and debate about is it right, is it wrong. You can pray, you can fast, you can do all of that shit. Me, I'm gonna get my black ass on the side of the house. So all the people who have shit, they very smart. They know that there's 2 things in life, assets and liabilities. Let me make sure I'm crystal clear. The biggest mistake I made in my life was I wanted to be liked. Because I'm a nice guy and I'm a 6. Oh, I learned though. It took me 50 years, but I fucking figured it out. I don't give a fuck what nobody says now. I don't give a fuck if you like me or don't like me. See, the problem is that everybody want to be liked. Everybody want to be coddled. Y'all better go listen to, my boy Andrew Tate or Dan Pena. Every other word is an F word. I used to hate people who cuss. I used to tell my son BJ all the time, man, but why you got to cuss all the time? Now I understand. It took me 50 years to figure it out. Cussing means there's 3 things in life that's the result of these 5 things. Like I said yesterday, you have to do scary shit. There's only 3 ways to be successful in life. Number 1, you gotta do some scary shit. Like join the military and jump out of a fucking perfectly good airplane and become a ranger. You gotta do something. You gotta do like working on a high-rise building, way up in the air with a rope tied around your waist. And if that rope breaks, your ass gonna plunge to your death. That's scary. That's the only way you're gonna make. The only way to make. Moving forward. The only way to be successful is number 1, do some scary shit. Now nobody else going to do because I ain't trying to go in that fucking building. I'm not going to be a roofer in Texas in August or in December. Why? It's cold as fuck out there right now. But you know what? I can look out my window right now. There's a bunch of, Hispanics. They're on top of the roof. They all got brand new trucks. Now it's probably 30 deep at the house. But like they tell me, we stick together. The guy I was talking to, him and his 9 brothers. They all live in the same house. They got one brand new truck. They all take turns driving it. Then he said he was the guy that I paid him $1,400 to do the landscaping in my front yard. After he finished working on the houses, he's going around to the neighborhood, taking leftover bricks and shit that they're throwing away, and he's bricking and putting the bricks around people's trees and does great work. And I'm thinking to myself, like I told you guys yesterday, I've been in this just 2 years of coming over here, 3-4 months of living in the house. I've seen 1 black person. Ain't no niggas on top of no roof. Why? Number 2, hard work. Niggas don't do hard work. None of them I know. Y'all know any of them that do? I don't. Maybe you the exception to the rule. Remember, these are only 3. These are only three ways moving forward. Because AI is taking your job, bro. If the AI computer has not taken your job, like what I do right now is being replaced by that new program that writes content. You can get 30 pages of content for free. Y'all seen that new AI computer? That like the new program that everybody's using that does the pictures? I forgot what it's called. Where, everybody go out there and get that computer generated image. Well, now they got AI computer that does content. You just type in the question and how many pages you want, and it spits it out. So what are colleges going to do now when it comes to writing your thesis and your term papers? If I was a kid, I would write shit. Now, it's kind of like when calculus came out. Why the fuck you don't learn math? You just type in, 3 squared to whatever, and it pops up the answer. So pretty soon, what was it called? It was called chat.openai.com or something like that. So what are you saying? I'm saying that you have to be a skyscraper or a roofer. Why? That shit's scary. You have to pick strawberries in California. Why? That shit's hard. They make a lot of money. You got to be a roofer in Texas in August because it's hard labor. It's manual labor. Nobody's going to do that. That's all. Then number 3, you got to do what I do. That is, you got to do the impossible. So what's impossible? You know why I get paid? I get paid because I'm unique. Remember I told you guys there's only 3 options. You got to be a freelancer, you got to be a consultant, or you got to have your own agency or become an agent. So I'm a consultant. What do I consult? I'm a truthologist. So what I do is impossible. I live way above my means. Because I'm able to do stuff that other people can't do. I can find information that other people can't find. Why? Because I was raised basically in a cult. And I got a hard on for error. I don't like to be lied to. Now, everybody else, they cool with it. Everybody else, Jesus is his name. Nobody would research it. Nobody's going to argue that his name is not Jesus. I'm the only person in my family that do not believe that his name, that no, with $100,000, I will give you $100,000 if you can prove his name is Jesus. I got $100,000 that proves that it ain't. In fact, I got $100,000 to prove that everything that you believe is a lie. I got $100,000 that you can't find one burial site from no biblical character. I got $100,000 if you can find one for Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, but I can find right now all of the pharaohs' burial sites. Everybody else's history, you can find their grave site. How come? Now, you can't ask the average nigga that. He can't explain it to you. That's why I get paid. Because remember, people don't buy information. They buy insight. I got $100,000 that the shit that I've been teaching that you can't prove me wrong. So that's why I get paid. I get paid because when people do the research, now remember, who pays me though? You guys know that most of my clients that really pay for my shit is Caucasian? How come? You should ask yourself a question. How come most of my clients are white, not black? I started this for black people to get out of religion. You know, they all tell me, we don't care. Black people don't give a fuck about being rich. They want to be right, even though they're wrong. See, I had to understand that, and the thing that changed, that saved my life was Nick Saban. When he told me the story about his number 1 recruit who got into a bar fight in Alabama. He was a black dude, and he was in Alabama, which is our first of all, that's the first mistake, eating, and a bunch of white folks came in and started calling him nigger. So he got up, and he put one of them white folks to sleep. So instead of calling the cops, the guy who owned the restaurant knew Nick Saban. He called Nick Saban. And so Nick Saban came and he told the guy, now let me sure you understand. And the little kid was crying and saying, Coach, you don't understand. Coach, you don't understand. And so the coach said, no, I understand. You are 100% right. But I want to ask you this question. Do you want to spend your life being right, or do you want to spend your life being rich? Because not going to draft you to go to the NFL if you ain't got no fucking self-control. See, most black people, we've been fighting all our life for civil rights. Give a fuck about no civil rights. So you can't talk to me about religion, about marching and picketing. Let them Negroes can pay their light bill. But they arguing about what the fuck is it good to have light rights if you broke. So you got a choice today. You can choose. You can choose right now to continue to fight for your rights. Or you can choose to be rich. I already made my choice. Y'all already know. You can look and see what choice I made. So I have established what it's called the law of correspondence. Everybody talks about the law of attraction. Fuck that. It's the law of correspondence and the law of vibration. See, vibration corresponds to you. That's what you attract. So before you talk about the law of attraction, you got to talk about the law of correspondence and the law of vibration. Because the law of attraction is the result. See, I'm cause, bro. I don't do morality. I do cause. What causes niggas to be moral and immoral? See, I was in a prison, and everybody that was in prison, they was in prison because there was a reason. So I don't ask people what they do. I ask them why. See, if you got a big enough why, you fucking fly. See, there's consequences for not manifesting. Oh, you can be right or you can be rich. Which one you want to be? See, let me make sure you understand. You can call me anything. Just pay me, bro. I don't give a fuck what you call me. Call me nigga. Call me short. Call me black. Call me porch monkey. Just make sure you took that PayPal button. See, y'all all, not you personally, but y'all hung up on all that religious stuff. Is it worth it to be right? How much you getting paid for all them Facebook likes you got, bro? I don't give a fuck about no Facebook likes. People telling me about how many friends and how many people they got in their DM and how many people on their TikTok page. Man, I'm not interested. You got to get paid for no TikTok likes. So let me make sure we understand as we wrap this up. Right now today, you got a choice. The law of correspondence says that the universe is going to respond to the vibration holding your head. So somebody did you wrong, right? So how do you feel? Somebody did you wrong. Like when my daughter Samora died. Samora died, okay? So what do? I have a fucking choice. I could walk around here pissed off. I could be angry and dark like I did when my mama died. And guess what happened? The universe corresponds to that feeling, bruh. So I don't, now people tell me all the time, but remember, I ain't the one. I was born last night, but I wasn't born last night. This is not my first rodeo. I already been to Egypt, man. I've been homeless. I had 68 jobs. I started 23 businesses that fucking failed. I destroyed my first marriage already because I had feelings and the shit was right. Give a fuck about morality? What causes Negroes to be poor? What's the cause of poverty? Poverty is a reflection of a lack of intelligence. That's all it is. Poverty is not a thing. Poverty is the absence of the vibrational equivalency of a thing. This is the law of correspondence. The universe corresponds to you. So I don't care. Don't talk to me about your feelings. Fuck feelings. Everybody got feelings. Well, this happened. Yeah, bad shit happens to good people. So what? What you gonna do? You gotta ask yourself. Now this is real talk. This is not, Ebenezer Baptist shit. Your self-worth determines your net worth. What damages your self-worth? Why do you think bad things happen to good people when wealth is your birthright? You have to fix your mind on your fucking target. Period. You have to change your consciousness. The universe responds to a made-up mind. Period. So if your mind is not made up, neither is your money. People talk to me about afterward doctors, but people don't understand what money is. See, money is a mental disposition. It's not a piece of paper. The universe responds to a mental disposition. So the law of correspondence states that everything is always corresponding to you. Everybody that comes into your life is a mirror and a messenger. Let me say it again. Everybody that comes into your life is a mirror and a messenger of you. So if you got a problem with somebody else, you need to check yourself because you drew that person. So you got to ask yourself, like I do every time I go to Walmart, and somebody walks up to me and starts talking to me, I ask myself, what the fuck is wrong with me? That person thinks they could talk to me. You can't fucking talk to me. The only way that you can talk to me is if you are me. I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, I'm wise, I get my toes curled. So if you're not wealthy, and if you're not healthy, you're not wise, you can't fucking talk to me. Why? We're not on the same vibrational level, bruh. This is why you see my black ass in my office alone. And guess what? I'm fucking happy as a lizard on a hot rock. Because me, myself, and I, all three of us, we agree. We agree that the most important thing in our life is, number one, that we establish a routine. Every morning for the last 20 years, I've been doing the same thing. I eat the same thing. I do the same thing every day. Now, is it anal retentive? No, because I do a rotation diet. I do rotation like everything. I don't do one thing. My routine is I don't have a routine because I got a 5 in my circle. I love freedom. I don't like to be put in a box. That's why I have 68 jobs. So my routine is I don't have one. So when I go to the gym, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do till I get there. So when I go out to eat, I don't know what I'm going to eat. I just get in my car, just ride around. I say, oh, that goes something, oh, I don't like that. That's what that means. That means I'm a spirit. I have possession of a soul. As a matter of fact, a spirit. That spirit, you cannot put it in a box. That's why it's difficult. I wouldn't be married to me if I wasn't me. If I wasn't me, I wouldn't like me. I feel sorry for my first wife. I tell D all the time, man, God bless your soul. It's hard to tell to be married to you. Because I know me. I'm a free spirit. Therefore, if you tell me to do something just because you told me, I ain't gonna fucking do it. I don't give a fuck what the cost is. That's just the way that I'm wired. But that's also why I'm successful. Because all rich people are wired the same way. Because number two, to every successful person that I know, they don't give a fuck about what other people think. If you still live in your life because of your in-laws or your outlaws or your mama and your daddy or your neighbor, you trying to keep up with the Joneses, if you still are aware and you're still sensitive to how other people, well, I can't wear that dress because, everybody thinks it's too short. Do you like it? Okay, fuck everybody else. Wear it. So every rich person, they don't give a fuck about what other people think. They march to the beat of their own drum. And number three, every rich person that I've ever met, they all speak present tense. I've never met a rich person who told me that what they're going to do. It's just crazy. And I've been doing this all my life. I just didn't know what the fuck it was until I got to this level. And then now I realize that, damn, everybody, I thank God I didn't listen. Everybody, especially my family, told me, well, you have all these problems because you live above your means. The greatest thing I ever did in my life was live above my means because then I elevate. I put myself in a position that I should not be, and then I figure out how to stay. I shouldn't be in this house. Now that I'm in it, I'm in it to win it. So let me make sure you understand how the universe works. See, there's no such thing as problems. There's just puzzles. Life is a puzzle. It's not a problem. You got all the pieces to the puzzle. They're not in order. So stop trying to fix problems and fix your thinking. That means your perception. I like relationships because everybody tells me like, there's no way on paper I should be married. There's no way. There's me and my wife, we don't agree upon anything. We don't eat the same things. We don't like the same movies. We don't go to the same places. We don't have the same religious beliefs. We don't have nothing in common. And the people who really know me and they really know Dee, like Dee's half my age, there's a big age gap. I haven't met a woman that's my age that thinks like me. Meaning what? Free spirit. It's hard to be and to think. So the question is, well, shit, how does it work? Do you guys remember the 3 ways to make money? Number 1, you got to do scary shit. Number 2, you got to work hard. Or number 3, you got to do the impossible. See, the word impossible means I'm possible. So when you are authentically yourself, and you don't give a fuck about what nobody else thinks, then the person that you with, the people that you work with, they got to accept you for you, because guess what? You're an asset. Why? Because everywhere you go, there ain't nobody else like you. There's nobody on the planet like me. And when people meet me, they're like, they may not like me, but they know that I'm an asset. What is an asset and what is a liability? An asset adds value. A liability takes. What does that mean? An asset adds energy. Liabilities take energy. Everywhere I go, you can't be around me and be hypocrite. You're going to get the fuck up and leave. You're going to get pissed off. Because my happiness is going to make you angry. Now let me say that again, because people don't come around me that often because they can't stick or they can't stay. What does that mean? That just simply means that, as we talked about in the gamma brainwave, my job is to get you to think like God. Everywhere Jesus went, he pissed off people because he did impossible shit by just being authentic. How do you do the impossible? There's only one you. Now let me get this right. If there's only one Diane Cohen, nobody was born where Sister Diane was born. Nobody has her exact name. Nobody has her exact parents. Nobody has her exact blood type. There's only one. So if Sister Diane looks in the mirror and says, you know what? I'm going to be me. That means she has no competition. That means Sister Diane can charge any price that she wants to be a freelancer, to be a consultant, or to establish Diane Coleman Enterprises and to become an agency. Now, how does Sister Diane Coleman monetize Diane Coleman? Sister Diane was born in the month of August. So I know that the month of August is a month of soul healing. That's exactly what we're talking about. So Sister Diane can do exactly what I'm doing. Why? She's the only one that has been endorsed and approved by God. That means that Sister Diane's been doing it all her life. She just don't know. My life changed when I stopped trying to be like everybody else, and I said, you know what? Shit, I might as well be me. Now, it took me a while to really, really honestly be me, because that's why I never cursed. I feel like Jesus. That's why I would never go out and buy a $100,000 Corvette. I had Jesus. I would never even look at. It was Janiyah was out looking at $1 million houses. Remember the first house that we wanted to bid on? That house was $1.3 million. It was more than this one. That house was like some out of fucking Hollywood. And we got the bid. The guy was happy, and it was really a for sale by owner. The guy told me, we're going to do zero down. We just will take the balance. Whatever you approve for by the VA, we will carry what they call a second note, which is going to be around about $20,000 or $30,000. He didn't pay it whenever. He was a rich dude. I went home that day because of my unbelief. I destroyed that deal. Because when I went home, I was like, I can't believe it. Everything that I wrote down on my list was in that house. Pool, Warren School District, fucking, over 5,000 square feet, 5-6 bedrooms. Everything that was on my list that I've been carrying out for 2 years. The first house that we got, this house does it too. Only thing it doesn't have is the school district. How come the deal fell through with the first house? Because of my brain wave entrainment. It's called intonation. See, the universe responds to a made-up mind that is able to do, number one, emotional control. Emotional control means everybody Whatever you want, I guarantee you've already got it or you're going to get it. But I guarantee, like me, when it shows up, you got to let go of what you have to get what you want. Like me, when your dream shows up, it's going to scare the fuck out of you because you don't believe you deserve it. And like me, you will destroy your marriage like I did. You will destroy your dreams. You will destroy your business because deep down inside, just like me, there's an embedded negative habit pattern that says you do not deserve to live your best life. It's in there. I know. Especially if you're black. That's the psychological effects of slavery and Willie Lynch. That shit's inherited by your grandparents' parents. The sins of the fathers passed down to the son, to the third, and to the fourth generation. So just like me, I had a feeling like, damn, this is a lot. Even now, I got to fight it because I learned from the first mistake. The only reason that we're in this house and I'm driving my Vex and I'm living my dream life is because I fight that demon every day. Because every morning, that demon comes back and says, hey, Doc, hey, Brother Will, bruh, you sure you want to be here? Man, this is a big house, brother. There's a lot of white folks up here, too. You sure you're in the right neighborhood? Don't you feel more comfortable back with your kind and your people in the hood? I know you're making good money sitting at home in your drawers talking on the internet every day, but, man, see, there's that little voice in your head that's trying to get you to go back to Egypt and be a slave when you can be a god. Every day you have to fight that demon. Keep his black ass chained up in the fucking basement. So the only way to win is to go within and deal with that negative habit pattern. I don't do negative. When a negative thought comes into my head and says, shut the fuck up, and I replace the negative with the positive. That's why I do these shows. That's why I talk grandiose. That's why I keep my energy high. That's why I don't allow myself to do poke. Sure, I can walk around with my lips poke out. I know, there's a lot of shit I could do. And bad shit happens to me too. There's a lot. What? I can come up with a whole lot of reasons why and justifiably, I can justify to the Veronica why I should be sad today. I got a whole laundry list. But you know what I said today, Sister Veronica? Fuck it. I choose to be wealthy, healthy, wise, and get my toes curled. It's a choice. So every day I wake up, I exercise emotional control. I write my own script. You got the same power. I ain't no guru. I just do what the word says. The Bible says it's done unto you as you believe. So I believe I am an individual expression of God. I believe I'm a joint heir. I believe I'm a royal priest. I believe that God wishes to do exceedingly abundantly above anything that I can ask or think because I fucking read it in the book. So I believe it. That's number one. That's why I exercise emotional control. Anytime my little head starts trying to override my big head, I tell it to shut the fuck up. We're going to grind. And we're going to shine. I'm just getting started. Hell, I got to put the pool in the backyard. I got to trade the vet in to get me the new one. I got to pad my bank account with I got to get more assets. So the shit hits the fan, I got stuff I can sell. That's number two, self-discipline. So when I wake up, I don't need no alarm clock. I don't need nobody to call me and motivate me. I got self-discipline. But it comes from what? Number three, psychic defense. Self-defense. Psychic warfare. Number three is the most important. Everybody, you are under psychic attack. If you don't know it, let me be the first to tell you. Now, some people call it spiritual for all you ever the Baptist folk. What is a psychic attack? Well, you know that everybody in your corner ain't in your corner. I don't know if y'all know this. Let me be the bearer of good news, in case y'all don't know. There's paranormal activity going on in your house right now. You may be married to paranormal activity. See, there's a point of view that is different from you. That's a psychic attack. Let me say it again. So, what I tell them, D is don't point your psychic weapon at me, and I won't point mine at you. So me and my wife, we agree to disagree. There's certain things in this house, certain things we don't address. Meaning that I've made it okay. I know I'm not perfect, and there's certain things that I don't like, so we decided on a happy medium. For example, let's say something simple like the dishes. So for me, I like the dishes done every night. Kitchen should be clean. Some nights the kids come home late because they got practice, they got this, and they got that. So I know that that's a trigger for me. So what I've done is I made it okay. And if it's that bad, I will get my black ass up and I will go do the dishes. We have a dog. We have a backyard. The dog poops in the backyard. The kids on Tuesdays and Thursdays or Tuesdays or whatever the days are, they go in the backyard and they scoop it up and pick it up so that way the backyard, doesn't get overrun because it's not huge like it was at the old house. That's a trigger for me. So I understand my triggers. Remember, we're talking about emotional control. So the greatest defense is the power of love and light. Negative energy strive in the presence of negative energy, especially fear. Let me say it again. I'm trying to help you. So I know that I need to find reason why. I got 100 reasons why I should, let's say, worst case scenario. Like my wife tells me all the time. So I already left 4 or 5 times. I said, why is leaving an option? Because I'm a 5. If shit is not working, I'm fucking go somewhere else. If I don't like the bed, I'm gonna fucking make me a new one. So her response is, okay, how do we take it off the table? My response is, well, I have to have a big reason why. So I got one. So whenever I think about my greatest power. You don't have to have a bunch of reasons why to stay married. You don't have a bunch of reasons why to stay doing your business. I have, like all businesses, high highs and low lows. What I do is cyclical. This is the slow period. During this time, it's when, it's like the feelings come in, like, damn, maybe we should do something else. But I always go back to my love of love. You see, brothers and sisters, my defense against all psychic attacks is I love love. Once you get to the point where you literally love love, I didn't say people, I didn't say places, I didn't say things. Now remember, God is love. So God did not create love. The Bible says the number one key on earth is the golden rule. When they asked Jesus to sum it up, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. But they made it religious. They made God outside of himself. I made God inside of himself. So love is love of details, because details is love. See, love is an action, it's not a feeling. So there are certain acts that I love. So I focus on the love of love. Because there is a lot of what is called mental intrusions that take place. When a psychic attack happens, that just simply means that there's the presence of additional negative energy. It's always there. But anytime there is additional disabling anxiety and fear that comes from certain events that usually happen externally, That is a psychic effect, a psychic attack. So you have to have psychic defense. So what does that mean? Self-love is the ability to love the things in your life that you built. For me, I release all energetic attachment to anything that doesn't serve my purpose. And the way that our relationship works is my wife allows me to do me. And I allow my wife to do her. So Dee loves outside. She loves gardening. She loves landscaping. She loves hanging out, going to get her nails done with her mom. She loves, her church. She loves choir rehearsal. I don't love none of those things. So I'm 100% okay with her doing all of those things. In fact, I encourage it because I see how happy it makes her. And when she comes home from church, she's a happier person. When she comes home from hanging out with her mom and getting her nails done, she's happy. When she talks on the phone with her dad, when she drives in like she drives Alex all the way to the other side of town to go to personal training. And I say, everything that the trainer teaches you, I can teach. Everything that the trainer got, I got in the garage. So that's a waste of time and a waste of money. But I don't get anal retentive about it. Why? She want to do it. He likes to do it. And it's time for them to spend time alone because they drive way to the other side of town and they talk. So that's mother and son. Because I know because I already raised two sons. And I know that time, 18 years go by fast. And I know pretty soon Alex is going to be gone. And I don't want her blaming me for when he's gone because I did not allow her to drive him to the other side of town so they can spend time talking. Because this ain't my first rodeo. So what am I saying? She loves doing certain things that I don't. And I make it okay. In fact, I encourage. I love doing things that she don't. But she makes it okay. In fact, she encourages. So when we do the things that we like doing together, both parties come to the table happy. So she don't try to limit my shine, and I don't try to limit hers. That's how it works. So when the psychic attack comes in, as the guy was telling you guys who calls my wife, told me that, man, I felt bad talking to your wife behind your back. So I told my wife, why would he say that? Well, they were friends before they met me, before she met me. In fact, like I told you guys, we worked together. I knew the dude, and I knew that they used to talk. I just didn't know they were still talking. Now, the average Negro would have got upset to find out that his wife has been talking to another man behind his back for years. Me, I told him to keep talking. He felt bad because he said he's been watching me for 10 years, waiting for me to fail so he could move in. When he saw that I was improving and not failing, he wanted to join the life management system. Now, what am I saying? See, one thing about Kevin Samuels that a lot of people hide, that people don't understand, that I'm trying to get you to see, is when you are rich, not in money, but in disposition. Because the money comes from the disposition. When you are, number one, you have a routine built around shit that you like to do. Number two, when you don't give a fuck about what other people think and do. And then number three, when you speak present tense, that means that everything that you think you don't have, you already got. That means that you call those things that are not as though they were. You say, I am a millionaire. I don't give a fuck how much money you got. You say, I'm healthy. I don't care if the doctor gave you 3 days to live. You say that I am wise. I don't care if you're a functional limit. And you say that I'm in a great relationship with myself, with my God, and with others. I don't care if you single and you don't got nobody in your corner. If you speak life, If you call those things that are not as though they were, I got 100 grand that if that shit don't show up in your life, I will give you $100,000. Because that's how I got here. I got out here by calling the devil a liar to his fucking face. See, the problem with y'all believe, not you personally, but y'all believe the hype. Y'all believe reality. Fuck reality. Live in mentality. That's where I live. I live in my imagination. I've been living in my imagination. All my life when I was a little kid, I got beat when I went to elementary school because I didn't pay attention to the teacher. I was in my own fucking world. My daughter Sade has my granddaughter Sienna. Sienna's brain works exactly like mine did. That's why I tell Sade when that girl got in trouble in school, I said, Sade, fucking do not discipline that child. If she lives in the dream world, because the dream world is better than fucking this world. So guess what's going to happen? She's going to make that dream world manifest as long as the parents don't fuck it up. See, as parents, we think we do our children, because I make the same mistake. I make the same mistake with my children. So, of course, I'm going to tell my children not to make the same mistake with theirs, which is, I love my son BJ the way he lets his kids, he sent me a video of started dancing and twirling in the kitchen. If that had been me, I'd have been, get your ass out of the kitchen. Go sit down somewhere. BJ don't give a fuck. You just let her run around and play. That is a child. She may grow up to be a fucking world-class dancer. As long as we don't fuck it up by trying to get children to do something that they're not designed to do. Because that shit happened to me and you. Everybody on this call, you are doing something that you're not designed to do. That's the only way you can be poor. You are born rich, and you learn to be poor. You were born to thrive, but you learned how to survive. All I did was unlearn everything I was taught, starting with religion. That's what rich people, that's why rich people don't give a fuck, because they've unlearned all the shit that teach them to struggle. Oh, we can struggle. We know how to struggle, but we don't know how to survive. Thrive. So remember, number one, do you. Establish your routine. Number two, don't give a fuck about who likes it and don't like it. As long as it empowers you and it doesn't hurt, harm, or defraud anybody else. Source code will never tell you to do anything that's going to hurt, harm, or defraud anybody anyway. So number one, do you. Establish your routine. Be authentic. That simply means that people are going to look at you, they're going to be like, and they told Michael Jordan, how the fuck you jump so high? Same thing that they telling my boy Steph Curry, how the fuck you got 60 points? The same thing they were telling Tiger Woods back in his day. Or how the hell you so good? See, when you do what you designed to do, it's fucking impossible to everybody else. There's only one Michael Jordan. There's only one Kobe Bryant. Because them niggas were smart enough to love what they do, number one, don't give a fuck about what everybody else thinks, number two, and speak the future in the present. Bring the future into the present. Bring the future into the present. Bring the future into the present. Live in the future now. Immerse your brain in your desires fulfilled. My brain right now, I can close my eyes, I can see my whole backyard totally landscaped. I can see my fucking heated pool, the sauna, everything. I can see my brand new vet. I can see the amount of money in my PayPal account. I got a bunch of fucking zeros behind it. I can see it now. That's why it's going to manifest. All rich people, they bring the future into the present. Poor people do not. Poor people live in reality. Rich people do not. Brothers and sisters, today has been an honor and a privilege, like every day, to break bread with you. Nobody knows what tomorrow's going to bring. Tomorrow is not promised to no man. That's why I live every day as if it was my last. I'm going to go in the gym and work out like a Hebrew slave. Why? Because that's what I like to do. And I'm in there by myself. I don't need no entourage. I don't need nobody to call me, pump me up, and motivate me. I don't need nobody to check on me. Hey, doc, you okay? Yeah, bro, good. Y'all never have to worry about me. Because no matter how high I get or how low I get, I understand, number one, emotional balance. Number two, self-discipline. Number three, psychic defense. Number four, self-motivation. And number five, attention to detail. You got those five things, brothers and sisters, you at the top. Everybody else is trying to get you to come down. Stay up there. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. We see y'all later on tonight. God bless.